semi-recently.
Sapphire finished, I want to say, in February or March.
Something like that. And then from Sapphire on Avenger and his Sapphire Avenger was probably the best member of his team, and he doesn't want to spoil for Yellow, which is being done in a comic form right now. And how many has he lost? He lost 10 in Sapphire, and again, Yellow would be spoilers. And he decided to do it after about 10 minutes of reading the original comic, and just wanted to try to do it for himself, which is pretty general for everybody, right? I mean, we just usually see the comic and it's just like, well, that seems interesting kind of thing. And why in a comic form? Because sharing the story is a really cool thing to do, and it just like enables him to deliver a lot more details than just the drawings. And other artists, again, Quap, because it's just adorable and refreshing. Also, leaving enough of the place for character development.
I'm just going to say right now that every single run we mention here, you should go and read it if you're interested in the challenge. Just because the runs that we're mentioning here
are pretty much
so cool.
And they really do show like what you can do with a comic, with a Nuzlocke storyline. Like you don't just have to deal with that base story. I mean, we all know Pokemon doesn't have the best of stories, but you build off of it. It's a good base.
Especially Landwalkers right now.
Yeah.
He started out, I think a lot of people, like I started out, I'm like, oh, I'm going to follow the story. And then you see, oh, well, in the story, usually in the middle, there's not a whole lot to do because you don't get a lot of plot interaction. You're doing gyms, so you kind of want to put something in there to make it cool. And then by the end, you like want this epic finish. It's more like, oh, I beat the champion, and now I'm the champion. So, like, they've all added a little something to the story. They're all different. Just so cool. It's an amazing community. You just read all of them.
And he wanted to showcase this part of his Yellow Run, which is the ending of the first comic, right?
Yes, that's the ending of his first comic in his Yellow Run, which is his protagonist, a silent protagonist, which is an interesting twist. Walking off to start his journey.
And he wants to showcase it because it's short, simple, and it delivers without saying too much. Without saying too much, the main idea behind Nuzlocking, in his opinion.
So. The thing at the bottom, I don't think you can see it because I can't see it. It says, "Adventure is not outside, man. It is within." I will. Speaking of petty artists. She can't remember how she really found out about Nuzlocke, but it was mysteriously embedded in her subconscious. She thinks like last May she probably saw something about it, like maybe on DeviantArt or anything.
Salt Pixie?
Yeah, Salt Pixie. Oh yeah, just some stuff. Salt Pixie. Are they the same people? I'm not even sure.
No, they're not.
They're not. Okay. And then in October, she started, like one of her friends asked her if she knew anything to make Pokemon harder because her friend wanted to like make stuff more interesting. And so she remembered what she had seen and started doing a comic about it. And she's completely free. She's almost done with Heart Gold, which she just started, so maybe she's done with it now, because I don't remember when we set this up. She might be done with it
It was
now.
at the beginning of June.
Yeah, so she might be done with it now, but she just started the comic. Totally go read it.
Yeah.
She did. And she started a yellow and an emerald, but she never finished either of them, and she doesn't really plan on doing it. I don't know, that always makes me sad because I remember my Soul Silver run and my Mary, it was lacking. Like, I wanted to use it, but then I remembered it died. Anyway. And her Leaf Green run, her Butterfree, actually, the one we talked about. Yeah, the one we talked about. She took her to the Leaf for,
It swept Bruno, right? For the most part.
Yeah, Bruno and Agatha. And in Heart Gold, she can't really say without spoiling it, but it's kind of in a similar thing to Lulu that, like, she was only really there to, like, oh, well, I'm at the first gym, I want to get as many Pokemon in my party as I can. So, kind of like that, and they just keep going with you, and they, like, just kind of define their role in the gym. In Leaf Green, she lost 15 Pokemon. And in Heart Gold, she said she lost less than that, but she's not gonna say how many. And all of the ones that happened in Heart Gold were really sad. And they'll probably make me cry.
There'll probably be videos of them with set to very, very sad music, and we'll all be crying like people.
And she decided to do a Nuzlocke run just because it seemed like a lot of fun, and she was reading Notepad's run.
Yeah.
And it kind of made her want to do it. She's an animation major, so that's why she wanted to do it as a comic. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, she wrote a lot.
She wrote a lot, so you should definitely go on the forums and read all of this. But she says her favorite runs are Landwalkers and Q, K, and C.
You can just say Quap, I think we all know by now.
Q, K, and C. So those two runs, you should definitely check them out. Showcase. What she wanted to showcase because she liked how she worked Gary into the story in around part 25 and like kind of getting him to show like what he's doing, more sympathetically in the champion battle, stuff like that. And she says that if you're gonna pay any attention to something, you should go to the Giovanni and Blaine dialogue because it kind of relates to something in the Heart Gold run. And she has a lot more to say, but I'm not going to read it.
Next up is Kinem, who we actually have.
Hi!
No! I am kind of on the go in. Right? Shut up! Why not?
You can.
I'll just stand awkwardly.
But you can
There's a mic. Oh, okay. Also, there's a mic.
Do you want to read yourself?
No.
Okay.
Sure, I guess. I heard about the Nuzlocke run because my friend did a hard mode run of Fireman, which is on hiatus now, and then I went to the main site to learn about the rules, and then I just said I'll do comics. And I so far finished Diamond and White in the game. I finished the Diamond comic. I'm working on White, and I'm also in game working on Heart Gold. In my Diamond run, my favorite, my most important team member was my starter Gohan in Verde, and I'm not talking about White anymore. Diamond I lost 10. White is roughly the same, I think. I don't remember. And I did the challenge because my friend did it, and I was like, oh, it sounds cool. And comic. I like drawing. I actually never did a comic. I did a few comics in my college for like fun, and then I just decided like, okay, Nuzlocke, everyone did a comic, and I can't write stories like a story run, so there we go. And I have a lot of favorites. So artists: Landwalker, Nuzlocke, Petty Artist, Alexiel, Shinon, Non-Parallel, Hale. Hi, Yerbil. Yerbil 13. And there are some writers, people who don't do comics, sometimes write theirs like in like a huge fiction format.
They're really good.
And usually I'm kind of impatient about fiction because I don't like reading things online, but then the ones I have read are Lord Q, Trainer Bob, Verminator, and Zeronos. They're all in the forums. You could check them out. And
Sarah's had a block of time for them though because like
Yeah,
they're written and they're really good, but they're written. So like it's like reading a book, but it's a really good book.
some of them are very long. Not gonna lie. And then I guess the point of Nuzlocke, it just gives a little edge, makes it interesting, and I actually get bored of Pokemon pretty easily. So when I play regular mode, so this was a fun way to do it. Show that comic. Okay, should I read it for you because it's really hard to see. So basically, it's my protagonist. and white protagonist Nina and Sharon talking to each other. So there's that one character that I don't like. Well, I find his last name. It's Ed. And basically they're talking, and then the second panel is him heavily breathing. The third panel is him also heavily breathing. And then the last line that I will read out loud, which is Ed, is, "Hi, your Pokemon. Did you know he talked? And you are really hot." The only reason I did that was I am on DeviantArt a lot more than I used to, and unfortunately this means, and I am in a lot of random, I guess, DeviantArt groups which post art of whatever subject, and unfortunately I am in an N group. Which means I see N looking like Edward Cullen from Twilight while your protag looks like your Bella and goes, "Oh, N." So a lot of people when I started my white run was like, "I want to see your N, I want to see your N," and I was just like, okay, here's your N.
Wrong.
Huh?
I want to see your end.
Yeah. Shut up. And right now plot-wise, I'm past StreamYard.